What's up, guys? Today I am bringing you my very first book review, and it is going to be over The Runelords by David Farland. Now, I know in some publications it is also titled The Sum of All Men. It's the same book, and it's great. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, and if you watched my book haul, this is one of those books. I know I've said it about all of them, but this is one of those books that the cover spoke to me because it is pretty. And it reminds me a lot of the Wheel of Time cover art. This reminds me of Wheel of Time in other ways also. The major one, and I know this is going to turn some people off because it's going to seem like a lot for the period of time that this book covers. This book covers 3 or 4 days. I want to say 4. But it is 618 pages covering about 4 days. And I know it sounds like a lot, but there are some pretty good POVs. The main 3 that you follow in this book are Prince Gaborn, which is pictured here on the front, Princess Iome Silveresta, and this other... trying to think of a good word for him. This other lord named Raj-Aten. What happens, I'm going to try not to spoil anything, Gaborn and his father are coming to Herodon, which is where this lovely lady lives, which is in the north of Rothaven. This is Rothaven. And Gaborn is from Mystaria, which is way over here in the south, and Iome lives in Herodon, which is way up here, skinny tiny little country, and they are going to Castle Silveresta, which is pictured over here and is marked way up here, for Hostenfest, which is basically like their harvest festival. And before their harvest festival really can get going and get kicked off, Raj-Aten shows up and basically messes everything up. I'm going to try to be nice. And I'm not going to go a whole lot into that because then I feel like that kind of will spoil the rest of the book. But I am going to go into something else that I thought that was really unique with this book, and it's the magic system. Now, they do have wizards. They have earth wardens, which are really skilled in earth magic, water wizards, which are obviously really skilled with water, and pyromancers, which are in this book called flame weavers. And again, kind of obvious, they're really good at using fire. Now, the synopsis, this little deal on the back says, "The very earth is in pain. Its wounds must be healed. There must arise a new king. The Earth King must be reborn. Only then will humanity have a chance to survive." Kind of draws you in a little bit there with the synopsis. Anyways, the Earth King has more to do with the Earth Wizards. And then outside of the wizards, there's another aspect to their magic system that has to do with the giving. They're called endowments, which basically what an endowment is it can have to do with, I'm not sure about taste, but it can. I've heard people have sight, smell, hearing, and touch as endowments. There's also stamina and metabolism and brawn and wit, and I'm sure there are others that will be introduced later on in the series, but those are the main endowments that have been introduced in this book so far. And how those work, and I thought this was really interesting. This is probably the most interesting thing I have found about this magic system, is that these endowments are kind of double-edged in the sense that, say, you have a dedicate, which is the person that gives the endowment to another person. So if a dedicate gives their sight to another person, they are literally giving up their ability to see so that this other person can see twice as well. So you get somebody that has way better vision than he did, and somebody that is now blind until the other person that was given the endowment dies or is killed. Then that other person gets their sight back. The other thing with some of these endowments, like metabolism, is the more endowments of metabolism you have, the faster your body ages. So you really have to think about how many endowments of metabolism you really want to put on yourself, because one of the characters is kind of close to the middle. I know there's a sticky note in the middle. I promise I finished it. I just marked this as a note for this review. He has one endowment of metabolism, just one. And for every 1 year for a normal man that he ages, his body ages 2. So chronologically, this man is 20 years old, but his body is that of a 40-year-old man. And once you get up into getting more into like what Raja 10 has, because he's another major player in this book, he brings up at one point that he has so many endowments of metabolism that chronologically he is 32, but his body is that of a man in his late 80s. That is crazy. I couldn't imagine being 32 and my body just being ready to give out on me. I think at one point they said that he had 3 years at best, unless he gave up some endowments of metabolism, but he's a greedy guy. He doesn't want to give up his endowments. He wants all the endowments he can get because he wants to be the sum of all men, which is the title of some of the prints of this book. Not this one, though. This one's awesome. I like this one. Anyways, this book was amazing. I just had come off of Wheel of Time, and I was wanting another series that captivated me and made me want to read it just as much as Wheel of Time kept me wanting to listen, even though it was long and there were some slow parts and there were some questionable moments. I wanted another series that would just keep me going and keep me interested, and I found it. I read this book in literally 10 days because I was that sucked into it that I just could not stop. I was reading it at work. I work at a laundry, so I clean for like an hour and then I sit on my butt for 3 hours during the week. I leave at noon, so I have anywhere from 3 to 3.5 hours in the mornings that I can sit and read. So I was busting through probably about 40 pages at work, and then I would come home, and when my husband would get home, I would turn off my audiobook and I would sit and read while he played Mortal Kombat or For Honor or Total War Warhammer, and I was busting through about 60 pages a day, 60 to 70 pages a day. That's a lot for me, for not having actually had a physical book in my hands for a long time because of work and college and moving and wedding and just a bunch of stuff that came up that kind of kept me from physically picking up a book and not just having one plugged into my ear. But I'm really glad that I found this. I found this at McKay's for like $3, I think. And I'm really glad I picked it up. If you watched my book haul, I did pick up books 2, 3, and 4 in my last trip to McKay's, and I am really excited to start the second book tomorrow. Like I said, if you loved Wheel of Time, or if you're not sure about Wheel of Time and you don't want to really make the commitment that Wheel of Time entails, because it is a long series and the books are long. I audiobooked them, and all of them but the prequel book were 25 to 45 hours of listening, and that is a lot for some people. I know that is a lot. My husband will not read the series because it is so much. But if you're a little concerned and you want something that's maybe a little bit shorter, this one is 9 books. I know, that still seems like a lot when they're all pretty chunky. Like, I have the second book right here. Just as chunky. But it's about 5 less books. And I feel like if you're not quite sure about Wheel of Time, but you want something that's really similar to give it a try, do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. I cannot say it enough. This book is awesome. This book sucked me in, and hopefully it will suck you into just as much as I did and keep you wanting more, just like it did for me. There were points in time in this book where I loved the characters, hated the characters, I thought they were dumb, and I wanted to yell at them and scream at them, and there were points that I just wanted to... There was one point that I just wanted to throw my arms around Aome and tell her everything was going to be okay, and that she was going to be fine, and that she was going to make it. And there was even a point in this book, I know it was kind of closer to the end, but I got chills. I never get chills from a book, and this book gave me chills. So if you're looking for something in the fantasy genre and you're kind of leaning towards Wheel of Time, but you're not too sure, or if you're maybe just trying to get into it, try picking this one up. It is really good. And that is all I can say about this book, and I cannot say it enough. It was fantastic. And I am going to start the second book tomorrow. I don't know when I will be done with it. It is a little bit longer than this one, so maybe in a couple of weeks. I don't know. I'm also audiobooking the Wastelands in the Dark Tower series right now. I don't know if I'm going to do a video review for that or not. I will probably leave a very short review on Goodreads, and then what I might do, because I'm listening to these books back to back, is just do a video review of the series in its entirety. I will link my Goodreads page down below if you want to look at my review on this, or The Drawing of the Three, or I think I wrote another review about the Warhammer Chronicles Rise of Nagash. I DNF'd that one because it just completely lost me, but if you want to check those reviews out, or if you want to see what's on my TBR, I will link my Goodreads page down below, and if you are thinking about picking up this book, or if you have, and you've already read it, leave a comment down below, let me know your thoughts, and if you've got any other suggestions, or if you check out my Goodreads page and you want to message me with suggestions, or ask me about anything I've read, go for it, and I will see you next time. Thanks!